He'd raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. He'd also raise taxes on people making more than $400,000 a year.
$400,000 a year. This is like the top 1%. What is considered the top 1% doing now? Let's pull that up. Top 1%. Top 1%. Where's the percentage? Income. What is it? 500. So this is pretty much he's gonna tax the top 1.5% of the country. If you make $538,000 a year, you're in the top 1%. And he's proposing a tax increase for people making $400,000 a year. So these idiots who are like, "Oh, he's gonna increase our taxes." I doubt you're making fucking $500,000 or $400,000 a year. Okay, right now what we are looking at is Joe Biden, 60 Minutes 2020 interview. Let's just dive into this one. Hopefully I don't get, like, copyright struck by CBS. All right, let's begin.
Spoke with Joe Biden this past week in Wilmington, Delaware. The former vice president was ahead in the polls, but confronting a withering final assault from President Trump. As the presidential campaign enters its final full week, we also had questions for his running mate, California Senator Kamala Harris. In our conversation, Joe Biden discussed how much he'd be influenced by progressives within his own party.
No, he will not.
Whether his proposed tax
God.
increases would hurt the economy, and how he views the current state of the race.
I already have like 20 things to say right now.
Have held a steady lead in the national
4%
and
is
state
nothing,
polls.
or whatever he's proposing, 7.
But so did Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. Could Donald Trump still win this?
Sure. I'm one of those folks or competitors. It's not over till the bell rings. And I feel superstitious when I predict anything other than it's going to be a hard fight. We feel good about where we are, but, you know, I don't underestimate
He is far ahead of the polls and
how he plays.
What do you mean you don't underestimate how he plays?
Well, you know, there's an awful lot of talk out there about that trying to sort of delegitimize the election. All, I think, designed to make people wonder whether or not they should, whether it's worth going.
No, his tactic is this. This is Trump's tactic. He's going to call the election into question. If he wins, he's going to say everything's fine. And if he loses, he's going to be like, "See, I told you this is going to be a sham." That's his strategy. And all of his dumbass supporters are going to be like, "He's right."
So, for example, if we just made every corporation pay a minimum 15% tax, you got 91 pay no tax. That raises over $400 billion. Okay. I can send every single qualified person to a 4-year college in their state for $150 billion. Okay. I can make sure every single person who qualifies community college can go, and we still have
It shouldn't be just community colleges. It should be all public colleges and universities. Private can go fuck themselves.
A lot of money left over. That's what I mean by significant institutional changes.
The Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center and others have questioned whether Joe Biden's corporate...
They are steps. They are... I mean, I hate to call them progressive, but they're a little progressive. They are. As much as I hate to admit it. They are. They could be far more progressive. This is very... Again, I got into a YouTube argument with this earlier. A couple people on Destiny's channel, actually. They were saying, "Oh, Biden is the most..." Like, this is what Destiny was quoting. That Biden is the most progressive candidate. Like, no, he's not. Compared to whomst? Compared to, like, Obama and, like, Clinton, maybe. But compared to, like, FDR. Teddy Roosevelt, even. Lyndon B. Johnson, yeah, to a certain degree, Lyndon B. Johnson, even though, you know, we got the Vietnam situation. But, like, I would say those people were more progressive than Biden. Also, his starting positions, this is what the argument was about on Destiny's channel. His starting position is this. This is his starting position. His starting position isn't universal whatever education for everybody, right? His starting position is community colleges get funded. Okay. What happens when the Republicans shut it down? Where do you compromise? Where do you compromise then? That's because there's nowhere else to compromise. He's starting at the very bottom of progressivism. Okay? So once the Republicans shoot him down, what is he going to do? He's going to be like, oh, okay, well, we can do some extra scholarships, government-funded scholarships that are, you know, something like that for community colleges. And that's going to be his consensus. You have to start from the extreme and then work your way in. That's not how a negotiation works. You can't just start where the other party wants you to be, pretty much. It ain't working. Man, it is hot as shit in here. Let me turn on this fan right here. Blow it up right to me, baby. All right, let's continue.
Corporate minimum tax plan would raise as much money as he estimates. After our interview, Mr. Biden's staff told us he misspoke and that the cost of free public college could be twice as much as he said.
Oh my, see, he's even shooting down his own idea. Are you licking the seam? Oh my God, man. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he then be like, hey, we're going to actually expand the tax hike, increase it, apply it to individuals making over a certain amount? I think he's got a policy like that, but he's talking about corporations here. I'm not entirely sure of his proposal towards individuals. I don't know if he's got one. I think he does. I may be wrong.
The president made the case.
But again, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Oh my God.
Convention that your administration would be a Trojan horse for liberals, that AOC, Bernie Sanders.
Dude, I wish that was the case. And look what he's going to do. He's going to shut it all down. Oh, we're not going to have any progressives in here. Also, why are these guys calling him liberal? Like AOC, Bernie Sanders, not liberals. I consider Biden to be a liberal. AOC and Bernie Sanders, I consider to be progressives. I don't know if there's a proper delineation there. Again, the American political terminology is a little weird.
Elizabeth Warren would actually be controlling policy, that this would become the most liberal administration in U.S. history.
No, how? What? Oh, my God. Oh, this question.
He'd love to run against them, wouldn't he? Mr. President, you're running against Joe Biden.
Oh, no. But look what he's doing. He's literally Trump. This is stupid Trump. He's using the exact same attacks that he would use for Bernie Sanders against you. He's saying you're a socialist. If he's already going to say that, why not just put somebody who's actually further left? Why not do that? So then when they negotiate, they can actually meet him in the middle. If he's going to call Biden a socialist, Biden a socialist. These people calling him the most progressive person, the most socialist president ever, are so delusional. They have zero understanding of politics. It is so sad.
Joe Biden has a deep, steep, and successful record over a long, long time.
No, he doesn't.
But Joe Biden's running mate's record
What are you talking
is less
about?
widely known. Kamala Harris has represented California in the U.S. Senate for almost 4 years. You're very different in the policies that you've supported in the past. You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Oh my God. Why is Bernie Sanders not in the running? Like Bernie Sanders is, if we're gonna go with if 60 Minutes is gonna use liberal in the term of progressivism and leftism, wouldn't Bernie Sanders be the most left? Why is Kamala Harris getting this award somehow? How is she the most left? What has she done that is so far left?
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
yeah,
right,
well,
yeah,
actually,
Mike Pence.
The nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Who are these people rating him?
You supported the Green New Deal. You supported Medicare for all. You've supported legalizing marijuana. Joe Biden.
I wish he still did. She does not support that anymore. I wish he still did that.
Doesn't support those things. So are you going to bring the policies, those progressive policies that you supported as senator, into a Biden administration?
what
I
will
hope.
do, and I
Please tell me
promise you
yes.
this, and this is what Joe
Please tell me
wants
yes.
me to do. This was
No,
part
don't
of
listen
our
to
deal.
Joe. Fuck Joe.
I will always share with him my lived experience as it relates to any issue that we confront. And I promised Joe that I will give him that perspective and always be honest with him.
And is that
I'll give him
a
that perspective.
socialist or progressive perspective?
No. No, it is the perspective.
Why don't you be like, it's not socialist, but it is progressive? Why can't you answer the question like that? Why are you like, ha 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 ha, these progressives can keep dreaming, and they call her the most liberal senator? Like, who? People are fucking stupid.
Of a woman who grew up a black child in America, who was also a prosecutor, who also has a mother who arrived here at the age of 19 from India, who also, you know, likes hip hop. Like, what do you want to know?
Well, I want to give you.
What do you want to know? What are your policies? What do you talk about hip hop for?
At the Republican National Convention, President Trump made the case that Joe Biden is going to be nothing more than a Trojan horse for socialist policies, for the left wing of the Democratic Party. Are you going to push those policies when you're vice president of the United States?
I am not going to be confined to Donald Trump's definition of who I or anybody else is. And I think America has learned that that would be a mistake.
So just to button that up, because you have fought for Medicare for all. That's not something that Joe Biden supports.
Again,
if you become vice president, would you say President Biden, you know what? We should really be pushing for Medicare for all, not a public option. That's just not going to do it.
You know what? This is what I hope for now. I hope she answers, you know what, anything is possible, or I hope she says, well, I don't like how Republicans talk about me. I hope she says a non-answer like all politicians say, because then that at least gives me a little bit of hope that she might be progressive. But watch what she's going to do. She's probably going to be like, hey, nah, I'm done with that. It ain't going to work.
That's not my value.
I would not have joined the ticket if I didn't support what Joe was proposing. And so our plan includes expanding on everything that Joe, together with President Obama, created with the Affordable Care Act. By contrast,
what do you mean? It's a Republican policy, you fucking retard?
In court right now, trying to get rid of a policy that brought health care to over 20 million people, including protecting...
What do you mean brought health care? You forced them to buy it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why not just have them pay a tax so the costs go down? So it's all in one market. You can't just have people buying from different corporations, because those corporations get to monopolize or oligopolize. That's not really a word, but you know what I mean. Oligopolies. Kamala Harris. Why couldn't she be at least nebulous about that answer? Why couldn't she be like, hey, you know, we're going to push for as much as we can get? Like, why don't you just say that? Why don't you be ballsy with it? Just to attract more progressives to your cause. Why just shoot them down? Why are you sucking the cock of, like, centrist Republicans? Why? They're not going to vote for you.
People with pre-existing conditions, and he's doing it in the middle of a pandemic that has killed over 215,000 Americans.
What do you think is the biggest domestic issue America faces?
Right now, the biggest domestic issue is our health. Right now, COVID.
Okay.
COVID, the way he's handling COVID is just absolutely, totally irresponsible. He's telling people that we've turned the bend at one of his recent rallies. Well, he's gone, as my grandpa would say, he's gone round the bend. I mean, we are in real trouble.
Mr. Biden says he would spend up to $200 billion to make sure schools have the equipment and staff they need to reopen safely.
Okay, that's
He also
good.
says he'd make greater use of the Defense Production Act to manufacture and distribute millions of testing kits for COVID-19.
Okay.
We should be
investing
investing
wrong
in
with that. You know what? You should be focusing on stimulus packages towards regular citizens. People should be getting income if they're not working. No, it's controversial because are you going to keep them lazy? Yeah, during the pandemic, yeah, we kind of want to keep people lazy. Yeah, we kind of do. We don't want them moving around. Yeah, that's totally fine with me. I have zero problem with that. Why can't we compensate people who have busted their ass off up until the pandemic? Then they get laid off, and now they have to suffer, possibly get evicted? By the way, that needs to be extended. Why the hell that hasn't been extended, the eviction protections. I know by state it varies. I know here in Illinois it has been extended, so that's good. As much as also the liberals would hate this, as about what I'm about to say, is landlords should also get some protection. Should also get some money. If people are not paying their rent, landlords should also not be punished. by not getting an income, because then they're going to forfeit their property, and then who's going to take over the banks? The banks don't give a fuck about the people. The banks are going to throw out the people. So there's cases vary, obviously. But in a broad sense, it is way better to pay the people that need the money during these times. And if that is not done, people are going to suffer and unrest is going to continue to happen. Okay, very important. Sure, proper protection for schools is good. But it's not enough. It's not enough. And that's what he's like. He thinks this is enough. He thinks he can win on this. If you just push, it's like, hey, once you elect me, I'm gonna pass a giant stimulus package. Because what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? The Republicans are gonna say no to that? They could, but they're gonna losing the election or losing their re-elections. So if I was Biden, I would be like, oh, we're gonna make the most progressive. Everyone's gonna get money once we get elected. Everyone who has lost a job is gonna be compensated properly. 80% of lost wages. 80% of, if you're a landlord, 80% of your income or whatever. Have a certain amount and have that recuperated. Run on that. Don't run on, we're gonna expand the protection in schools. Who the fuck does that? What? Who's gonna be like so enthused about that? Be like, hey, everyone's gonna get, this has hit everybody hard. We're gonna finally provide some relief that Trump could not bring you. We're gonna bring that to you. Vote for Biden. That should be what he's running on. But instead, he's running on some school protection. That's a bullshit. He would get so much more votes if he just ran on that. And what are the Republicans gonna do? The Republicans are gonna be forced to accept his deal. And if he's running on the far extreme of like, hey, we're going to give everybody money, and we're going to give him this high amount of money, once you start negotiating with the Republicans who don't want to give anybody money because they're fucking assholes, you got to meet in the middle and give somebody, and still everybody gets some money. Maybe not the full 80% that Europeans get or whatever, but it's a good amount. It's a good amount. It's better than zero than what we're getting now, okay? $1,200 in, what is it, 8 months now? 7 months? Oh, this is, oh, Jesus. Like, this saddens me. Just, oh, yeah.
Deal more money in testing and tracing. A woman can go in to a drugstore and buy a pregnancy test.
You excited to go to church? You like how I'm riled up already? Oh,
Find
man,
out
I'm on edge.
Whether or not she's pregnant. We should be doing the same kind of investment to see whether we're going to have testing kits for people to know. It's not enough.
Fuck
to know
the testing kits. Give people financial relief right now.
Whether or not you have COVID.
It's people are gonna find out if they have COVID, dude. It's okay if everybody is allowed to stay home, and by allowed I mean given the financial ability to stay home, they will do that. Okay, a faster processing kit for COVID is not going to cure the illness that is ravaging this country right now. Financial relief would. God.
But Congress did approve that money for the NIH.
No, that's my point, but it's not there. But they haven't done it.
Oh, so you're going to do it.
They haven't done it.
Come on, man.
We're worried about a national lockdown and worried about jobs. The president's advisor
stimulus, please.
now
Tell
is
stimulus, please.
Dr. Scott Atlas. And
He's
he is
awful.
advocating young people go about their business and older people sequester.
That makes no sense. If you're an older person and you can't afford to live, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to wait to get evicted and die on the streets. Like, that's what the current president's answer is to this problem. Hey, we're not going to provide you any financial relief. So if you're old, stay home. If you're young, go work. Good luck. That's, oh my God. Dude. How can people fucking support Trump, dude? These fucking idiots, dude. Complete fucking idiots. And I hope Trump supporters come in here. My God.
Nobody thinks he makes any sense. Nobody.
Well, not nobody.
No
Everybody thinks.
serious
Like
doctor around
30% of the
But how do you not
American
lock down the economy?
dumbass population
You don't have
thinks he
to
makes
lock
sense.
down the economy. It
Trump,
depends on
woo,
the community.
banned.
It depends on where it's in real trouble, and you have to do things.
Trump
that make
2020,
sense, that make it
absolutely
easier
not.
for
Trump
people to
out
avoid.
now. But so with Biden. I hate both of these. This is the worst. I need to make myself another drink. But I can't because then I'm going to become an alcoholic.
Being exposed. Freedom is about making sure that you care about the people you're around, that they be free too. It's a patriotism to put this mask on.
Let's talk about the economy.
That is a good point. Yes. Patriotism.
You are proposing...
That's what... See, if Trump literally did that, if he did that at the beginning of the pandemic, he could have easily won re-election. I would have said vote for Trump if he actually handled the election, the pandemic seriously. Actually, I probably still wouldn't have said that. But because he did it as... Oh my, he's such a fucking idiot.
Several $1 trillion in new spending over the next decade for economic relief, education, healthcare. How are you going to pay for that?
By writing the tax code. You got billionaires in this country making $700 billion during this crisis. Okay. $700 billion.
He wants to terminate the tax cuts that we gave you.
Yeah. No. The tax cuts aren't for the people in the audience. The tax cuts are for you fucking... Oh, my God. And his audience has no clue. His audience is like, the tax cuts are for us.
And wealthy Americans. He'd raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%. He'd also raise taxes on people making more than $400,000 a year.
$400,000 a year. This is like the top 1%. What is considered the top 1% doing now? Let's pull that up. Top 1%. Top 1%. Where's the percentage income? What is it? 500. So this is pretty much he's gonna tax the top 1.5% of the country. If you make $538,000 a year, you're in the top 1%. And he's proposing a tax increase for people making $400,000 a year. So these fucking idiots who are like, oh, he's going to increase our taxes. I doubt you're making fucking $500,000 or $400,000 a year. And he could easily increase this to people making over even $300,000. I would cut it off at $250,000. Maybe $150,000. I don't know. $250,000. And he's the commander-in-chief.
Making less than $400,000.
Who, by the way, dodged the draft because he's a rich boy.
Will pay a penny more in tax under my proposal.
That's a promise.
That's a guarantee, a promise. I give you my word as a Biden. That's an absolute guarantee.
Give you my word.
You think it's a good idea to raise taxes when the economy's in dire straits?
On people making $400,000 a year? Yes, increasing taxes is fine. What are you talking about? Oh, these are so stupid questions.
Look, if you're raising somebody who's making $1 billion a year, it's not a problem if they pay 39.6%, which everybody should pay, raise another $90 billion.
The president says that's going to end up sending jobs overseas.
To who? Where are these corporate guys going to move to? Where are they going to move to? What other country? Are they going to move to China? Are they going to move to Europe where the taxes are even higher? Are they going to move to Canada where the taxes are even higher? They should have hired Rokashy instead. Yeah, dude. I would have, dude. Oh, please. That would be the best, dude. If I could ask questions to these candidates, I would be rock hard. I would be rock hard and eager to do it.
Sending him overseas already. Take a look at what's happening.
I do appreciate that at least she's challenging him, even though her challenges are kind of like, do you actually want rich people to pay more taxes? It's like, yeah, we do.
We have now a trade deficit that's larger with China than when we were there.
Actually, that depends on how you calculate it.
That's not accurate.
The overall trade deficit with China was slightly lower in 2019 than it was during the last 3 years of the Obama administration.
But again, the way the economy structure is totally fine. It's not a big deal.
And Trump campaigns have been engaged in a running battle over who will be tougher on China. Let's turn to foreign policy. What do you think is the...
Again, being tougher on China is a tough cookie to do. Because if you're too tough, there's going to be a war. Also, best case scenario is prices go up for poor people. That's best case scenario if we cut trade with China. Prices go up for poor people. People can't afford goods anymore. Okay, that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is there's a war. Pick your poison. What I would propose is let's kind of, I wouldn't say clamp down on China. I would say keep China accountable, but also relieve the workers that have either lost their jobs or have lost income due to whatever it may be, globalization or trade deals or whatever. That's the best way to handle the situation, not cutting trade. Cutting trade is only going to increase costs and make it impossible for people in the lower bottoms, not even the Even in the middle class, everything is going to be exponentially expensive if it's made in the USA. Why would you make it in the USA if you can make it cheaper somewhere else? What you should be doing is paying back the people who do lose their jobs. That's what you should be doing, is creating some form of welfare policy to support the people. Dude, I wish you had an OnlyFans. Actually, no. There's better OnlyFans, let's be honest. There's better OnlyFans, okay? But what we should be doing is should be providing money to the people that have lost their jobs. Not canceling all trade and increasing the cost of living to everybody in America.
Biggest
Stupid.
foreign threat that America faces.
That is lack of standing in the world.
That is kind of true.
Look what he does. He embraces every dictator in sight, and he pokes his finger in the eye of all of our friends. And so what's happening now is you have the situation in Korea, where they have more lethal missiles and they have more capacity than they had before.
Oh my God.
North Korea. You have a situation.
It's totally fine. North Korea is not going to do shit. They're not going to invade anybody. They're not going to do nothing. Because they know the second that happens, they're going to lose. They're going to get annihilated. They're not going to attack you. All they can do is wave their big dick around, pretending they got nuclear missiles, pretending they got... Oh, they do have nuclear missiles, but you know what I mean. Pretending they're going to kill America, pretending they're going to do this and that. They're not going to do shit. They're just waving their dick around so the people do not overthrow the dictator. They're not actually going to use those weapons, because the moment they use the weapons, they're going to get completely annihilated. They're not going to do that. He knows. Kim Jong-un is not completely stupid. They have missiles. I know they have missiles. Yeah, I pointed it out. Yeah, I know they have missiles. But you know what I mean. They're not going to use the missiles to attack America, because in the moment that happens, they're going to get completely annihilated. What Kim Jong-un is trying to do is trying to keep himself in power. That's all he's trying to do. And the only way he can do that is pretending to his people that he's the most powerful guy in the world, which his people, you know, because everything's censored there. They may not know otherwise. So as long as the people don't revolt, he's happy. That's all he cares about. Now, I know they have real missiles. But I'm just saying they're not going to use them. So people in the West, people in America making a big fuss about North Korea being a danger, it's not a danger. North Korea is not going to do nothing. Not going to do absolutely nothing. For what? Just if they invade South Korea, they're going to get completely annihilated. If they fire a nuclear missile at America, they're going to get completely annihilated. Nothing's going to happen.
Where you have Iran
I know it's a real missile, sir.
Having enough fissile material to get a nuclear weapon than they had before. You have our NATO allies backing away from us because they say we can't count on us. So he's moving away from what has allowed us to bring the world together.
Which country is the biggest threat to America?
Well, I think the biggest threat to America right now in terms of breaking up our security and our alliances is Russia. Secondly, I think that the biggest competitor is China.
Yeah, fair enough.
How we handle that.
That's a good way of phrasing it. Yeah, I think he phrased it better than I did.
Or we end up being in a more serious competition relating to force.
Domestically, Democrats...
But even a threat, like, who would win a war? China or Russia against America? To be fair, nobody would win, because you're not going to invade the other country, because all countries have nukes. So there would be no invasion of the mainland of either of those three countries, because the moment it happens, the nukes go flying. So there's not going to be a victor per se, but in terms of military strength, probably China's the biggest threat. Russia's the biggest, like, they just like to fucking dabble in everything. They just like to get their fingers in everything. But so does America. So this is what the superpowers do. We have way too many people. We do not. What? We have. This is like we have like the same number of people as like a province in India or like in the province in China. We have 300 million people. They have 1 billion each.
Democrats have lost the competition to control the U.S. Supreme Court.
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
Oh yeah, by the way, now this, and she's confirmed, the Democrats can't get nothing passed. They cannot get nothing passed. Let's say, for example, let's say it wasn't even Stalin. Let's say it wasn't Biden. Let's say it was like Stalin, Lenin reincarnated. They could not get anything passed because of the Supreme Court now. No progressive policy is going to get enacted. In fact, a bunch of previously enacted policies may get reversed. Like Roe v. Wade. For the next 30 years, it's going to be a complete shit show unless they expand the courts, which is politically very hard to do. In this climate, it ain't going to happen. So, I mean, America, honestly, America, in terms of progressivism, is fucked for the next 25 years, 20 years for sure. Until more of those, I don't know, until more of those Supreme Court justices start dying from old age, nothing's going to change.
Mr. Biden is under pressure from his own party to consider increasing the number of justices if elected.
I would do
it's
that.
called court packing, and while he's said he's no
been
fan
done
of
in
the
history.
idea, he's never completely ruled it out. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is on track to become the 9th U.S. Supreme Court justice. That would give the conservatives a 6-3 majority. If elected, would you move to add more justices to the Supreme Court?
If elected, what I will do is I'll put together a national bipartisan commission of
Bipartisan commission? What the fuck? What land are you living in, Biden? What land are you living in? Bipartisan commission. Yeah, Mitch McConnell's gonna all of a sudden start working with you after not having worked with Obama for 8 years. Dude, what are you? Oh my God, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why he should have just been like full. If they're going to accuse him of being completely far left, just go completely far left, and then when the debates happen, when you're actually negotiating an actual bill, make your way towards the middle. Don't start at the middle and then work your way further right. You're not going to pass any policy. God. Oh, man, it's so annoying.
Scholars.
No, I'm not going to cut him some slack. He's running for president. He has dementia. No way I'm cutting nobody slack. He should get his ass in a geriatric home instead of running for president. Fuck
days,
that.
Come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform.
I think this is my belief. Once you start collecting your Social Security check, you can't vote. That's my belief. I don't care if that's ageist. I don't give a fuck. That should be your reward. Hey, you're too old to really matter anymore, okay? The world is moving forward. Your opinions should not really matter because you're going to be dead in the next 15 years or so anyways. Have the rest of your life. I hope you guys have a good life, but please do not have an input in our society anymore.
Whack. The way in which it's being handled. And it's not about court packing. There's a number of other things that our constitutional scholars have debated, and I'd look to see
what they should have done is they should have prevented Amy Coney Barrett from coming into the Supreme Court.
No, it is a live ball. We're going to have to.
They should have just overloaded with the courts with other decisions.
Are saying it as well.
Forgot exactly.
The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes.
Kanye is want.
Presidents come and go.
Thinking ahead, yeah. I don't know, man. Thinking ahead. Most of his policies that he talked about are the Joe Rogan experience. And to be fair, that is pretty much where he has stated his policies. There's very few areas where you can find his actually stated policies at. Does he even have a website? I think he does, but like I don't think he's. The few policies that he has stated were like he was trashing the music industry, which to be fair is awful. But he's like, this is the biggest problem in the world is the music industry. It's like, really? That's the biggest problem right now? Is Universal Music making complete bank and robbing artists? Yeah, I guess it's pretty bad, but is that the biggest issue we're currently having? Is that really the biggest issue we're having? Elon Musk, God, it's like a love-hate relationship with Elon Musk. Elon Musk thinks forward, but he has certain ideas that are just totally backwards thinking. Like that. So, SpaceX and Tesla, I love. I don't have zero qualms with those. The boring company that he has, which is basically he's gonna bore a tunnel through LA for Tesla cars to go fast individually underground, that's fucking stupid. Just create a subway system in LA and you would make it far more efficient, far more useful to society than an individual car going at what was it, 100 miles an hour underground? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Very impressive, Elon. That's a stupid idea he's got. He's got another one that's actually pretty smart. The Hyperloop. The Hyperloop I like, because that's actually pretty useful. That's a further advanced version of, you can say, the bullet train. Because it's not really a train, but it moves faster than a bullet train. I like that idea. The Hyperloop is good because it goes cross-country, or at least cross cities like San Francisco to LA. But the tunnel thing where you just park your car and then it just like takes you to another subway stop, that's fucking stupid. That is, oh my god. And the people like, oh my god, that's such a genius idea, Elon. No, that's stupid. Just you're digging tunnels underground LA. Might as well just put a train there at that point, okay?
Go.
God.
Supreme Court justices stay for generations. I have not taken.
You know what they
a penny
should do
from any
is
foreign
they
source
should
ever
limit
in
the
my
terms
life.
of
In the
Supreme Court
closing
justices.
days of the
That's what they could
campaign,
do.
Joe Biden has been
I think that'd
forced
be
to
easier to
address
get
new
through
and
than
unverified claims
expand the
that
courts
he
at
was
this point.
involved in his son Hunter's foreign business dealings. The president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, says he came into possession of emails allegedly belonging to Hunter Biden and turned them over to the tabloid New York Post.
Smoking gun emails.
Mr. Trump and his
Smoking gun emails. What about you, you fuck? You bought like so much property in China after you became president. Prior to when they didn't let you have the property, all of a sudden you became president, and then you can build all these Trump towers in China? What? That's how is that not a bigger scandal? Hunter Biden's email. Okay, Joe Biden helped Hunter get a job in a relatively lucrative industry. Oh, ho, 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 how bad. Did he profit it off a little bit? Probably. Is it shitty? Very shitty. But is it as shitty as what you've done and you and your family have done? No, not even close. A smoking gun.
allies have called for an investigation, but the FBI would neither confirm nor deny to 60 Minutes that one was taking place. Do you believe the recent leak of material allegedly from Hunter's computer is part of a Russian disinformation campaign?
From what I've read and know, the intelligence community warned the president that Giuliani was being fed disinformation.
I would take prisoners out of prison. I don't know about that one. I would take all non-violent people out of prison. I'll keep all the violent people in there. In fact, you know what I would do? Oh my god, this is very controversial. It's not controversial. If we know for sure you've killed it, like if you're like a school shooter or something, or if you're like a serial killer and we can prove it, like there's like evidence of you just going about it, you know, I think in those cases you should be killed in the same method you killed other people. I know it's pretty bad, but you know, what are you gonna do? Now, if there's some nuance, like we don't know if you did it or not, then no death penalty. But if we know for a fact you're the one who did all these heinous crimes, you should be like tortured, maimed, awful, you know, death. It would be beautiful. I would love it. It would be tremendous. But non-violent people, I would agree, let them out of prison. $2 million. Well, I don't know. We get $2 million for 300 million Americans.
And we also know that
that's a hefty stimulus package there.
Disinformation about Joe Biden. And so when you put the combination of Russia, Giuliani, the president together, it's just what it is. It's a smear campaign because he has nothing he wants to talk about. What is he running on?
Yeah, he's running on nothing. He's running on nothing.
We'll ask Joe Biden about his age and mental sharpness and ask Senator Harris what her role would be in a Biden White House when we come back.
Let me hear this question about his mental strength, mental toughness. Because it's not good.
On the campaign trail, President Donald Trump paints former Vice President Joe Biden as an aging career politician and questions his mental acuity.
I do agree
This past Monday in our conversation, Mr. Biden frankly discussed his age, his health, and why he believes Kamala Harris stands ready to become president.
Wait, why would he do that? That's stupid. Why would you just say, like, what? Why would you say she's ready to take over? Shouldn't you just shoot down the rumors, even if they're true? Just be like, hey, I don't have dementia. You know, Kamala Harris is great, but she will never get, it will never come down to that. Why would you just open the door for that? Hey, you know, Kamala Harris is pretty good. And to be fair, you know, she is better than Joe Biden. I'll give him that. Drake needs to run for president. Drake's Canadian. He can't, sadly. Neither can I. I can't be president unless we overthrow. Who's with me? Golden Attorney? I have one follower already. I hope. Oh my God, I'm so sad.
If elected, you would be the oldest president in American history.
But I'm in good shape.
No, you're not.
78 years old, 82 after 4 years. Donald Trump says you have dementia and it's getting worse.
That is true. I believe you have a
Same
dementia.
guy who thought that the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack. He's talking about.
Wait, I don't think Trump ever said that. I hate defending Trump, but I don't think Trump ever said the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack.
78 years old, 82 after 4 years. Donald Trump said,
Dude, if he died of a heart attack, I don't want to say that. I wouldn't be sad. If Kamala takes over, Kamala is better than Biden. I would give Kamala that. Is Kamala great? No, Kamala is still awful.
you have dementia and it's getting worse.
Hey, the same guy who thought that the 9/11 attack was a 7/11 attack. He's talking about dementia. All I can say to the American people is watch me. You see what I've done. You see what
We've
I'm
also
gonna
seen
do.
clips of you just
Look at
totally
me,
fumbling.
compare our physical and
thoughts.
mental acuity. I'm happy to have that comparison.
Your age makes the choice of your vice president all the more important. Why do you think Senator Harris would be ready to step in and become commander-in-chief if something were to happen to you?
Number one, her values. Number two, she is smart as a devil. Number three, she has a backbone like a ramrod. Number
Does
four,
not have a
she
backbone.
is really
She does not have a backbone at all. She caved to every idea just to get the job of vice president.
principled.
What
And
the hell are you
number
talking
five,
about?
she is has had significant experience in the largest state in the union, running the Justice Department. It's only second in size to the United States Justice Department. And obviously, I hope that never becomes a question.
Kamala Harris was the first woman and first black.
Speaking of OnlyFans, I mean, would you have the interview or would you have Kamala OnlyFans? It would be a tough question. It'd be a tough question, going attorney. What would you say? Kamala Harris OnlyFans or the interviewee OnlyFans?
Person to be district attorney of San Francisco.
I would say Kamala. I would
And
say Kamala.
attorney general
Maybe.
of California.
Yeah, maybe Kamala.
And she's only the second black woman to serve in the United States Senate. Do you think having the first woman of color, the first woman as vice president, may change things?
I do.
Yeah, I would say
It
Kamala.
helps change the perception of who can do what. Because that is still part of the battle after all. And you imagine some young person then seeing, oh, things can be different. I don't have to conform to whatever I'm, supposed to do or relegated to do. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
What a nebulous answer. What a nebulous answer. That is the most political answer one could give. We can have the young people in this country question why we have to stay true to norms. It just doesn't make any sense. He's like, man, I hope she's if Trump kicks if Biden kicks the bucket, I hope she's a little bit left of Obama. That's my hope. I hope she's a little bit more progressive than Obama. But from what I've seen, it ain't happening. Kamala looks like a MILF. How is MILF banned? It says Automod came up. Held a message for reasons. Identity. Identity. I don't know.
You know?
What kind of role
I think I've seen Kamala in a film recently.
do you think you would play in a Biden administration?
Joe Biden's partner. One of the first things he said was, I want you to be the first person in the room and the last person in the room.
How often do you and Joe Biden speak?
Almost
Never.
every day.
Your next Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
From the moment Joe Biden selected her as his running mate, Senator Harris has become one of President Trump's favorite targets.
And she's not competent. She's not competent.
Are you
On the campaign
competent?
trail,
Are you competent?
President
How are
Trump
you
has
competent?
attacked
Oh my
you
God.
frequently. He's called you a monster. He said you're nasty and it would be an insult to our country if you became the first female president. Do you see this?
If she was the first, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know who I want to be the first female president. AOC, maybe. I mean, I like AOC, but she's got a couple of ideas. Like a lot of the progressive foreign policy ideas are very stupid. I really don't like them. But if I was to pick a president, a first woman president for America, I think it would be AOC. That would be a good start. Starting with Kamala, I don't know. You can only go up.
This is just the rough and tumble of politics, or
she is from Guam, so she is very familiar with a bunch of Navy folk.
do you
that
view those
aircraft
attacks
carrier
against
action.
you as racist?
Well, this
Not
is
really
not the first time
racist,
in my
he just
life I've been
attacks
called
women.
names. And it was predictable, sadly.
Do you think the president is racist?
Yes, I do.
That's probably racist.
Yeah, I do. You can look at a pattern that goes back to him questioning the identity
So
of
it's
the
probably
first black
Biden.
president of the United States. You can look at Charlottesville when there were peaceful protesters, and on the
I think, no, this is what I think is going to happen. I don't think Trump is going to win. What I think is going to happen is this. If Biden wins, and if it's not it needs to be a landslide. Biden needs to win completely. If he doesn't, Trump is going to be like, hey, the ballots were fake, whatever. He's going to start, the election's rigged. And then all of his supporters are going to come up and be like, we're going to keep him in power. And there's going to be a little constitutional crisis, little borderline, uprising situation, which you do not want because all of his supporters, come on, let's be fair, they're stupid. But he's going to use that. He's already prefacing that. He actually prefaced that in the 2016 election. He said the election's rigged. All right? But then he won. Okay? So how is it rigged? Right? It's going to be the exact same situation. He's saying it's rigged. Fake polls, mail-in ballots don't count, bada bim, bada boom. If he wins, he's going to say, oh, see, the people love me. If he loses, he's going to say, oh, see, I told you, it's a fake. Everybody, please come support me. I am not leaving. I won the election. I could not lose to Biden. There is no way I could lose to Biden. That's what he's going to say. So if Trump loses, he's going to think he won, and then his supporters are going to think he won. We might have a little showdown going. Hopefully the police and the army or whatever are not fucking completely stupid and then end up supporting, I guess the commander-in-chief is commander-in-chief. I hope they actually, listen to the populace. But that's my biggest fear is he's going to say, I didn't lose, and then he's not going to leave, and then we got a little shindig happening. It's like, how are you going to remove him? What's going to happen? Because you got a bunch of crazy nut militia people for the far right who are like, Trump's the God Emperor. And again, only those people can believe he's God Emperor. No brain, obviously. But yeah, it's just a very tricky situation. I do think Biden is going to win. Also, another situation was going to happen is this. Because Trump supporters are more likely to vote in person, the results on election night, November 3rd, what might happen is this. What you might see is Trump being ahead constantly. Because most likely his supporters are more likely, again, to go vote in person, while Biden supporters are more likely to vote by mail. Now, we've been warned for the last couple months that it's like, hey, the election results are not going to be concrete on November 3rd unless it's like a landslide. So, what's going to happen is this. In the beginning, Trump's going to be winning, and then midnight's going to hit. Let's say it goes to November 4th. They're still counting. And then the tide begins to turn for Biden because all the mail-in votes are going to be counted. What Trump's going to do, he's going to start freaking out. He's going to be saying, hey, these votes shouldn't count. These votes don't matter. This is fake. This is a phony fraud election. At the end of it all, he's probably going to lose. Then what's going to happen is he's going to appeal to the courts. It's going to go up all the way to the Supreme Court like it did in 2004 with Bush v. Gore. This is going to go up all the way again. But now, since the Supreme Court is stacked with Trump's appointees, 3 judges he appointed, God fucking Christ almighty, what's going to happen, they're going to vote in favor of him and saying, yeah, these votes that were mailed in and counted after the fact don't count. And what's going to happen is Trump's going to win somehow in that way. That is one other way he can win, possibly. And that would be a disaster for the country. And, man, yeah, that should be like an uprising central You know, that should be an Uprising Central. It's like, yeah. Yeah, the next 2 weeks, Golden Attorney, should be very interesting. Should be very, very interesting. I can't. I'm gonna be in class. Same like I was in 2016 election. I was in college then. Now I got a real estate class. I'm taking real estate courses. gotta increase that income, right? Because Twitch isn't kicking off. I need more followers. I can go full ditch school. No, I can't. I gotta. Oh man, oh shit. Dude, election night, and I'm gonna be in fucking class. To be fair, I will be out at 9. So I might do something. I don't know. Very possible. But, I mean, everybody's going to be streaming on election night. So who's going to watch my shit when they can watch, whatever fucking, all the main people,
Mexicans, rapists, and criminals? His first...
To be fair, my opinion is far more correct than theirs, than all the other opinion headpieces. Hasanabi who? It's Rokashy. Okay, this is who it is. This is who it would be. David Peckman, who? No, Rokashy. Okay, Ben Shapiro, who? No, it's me. It's me. I'm the main one. I know the truth here. They got a bunch of fancy words, but they're fucking stupid.
First order of business was to institute a Muslim ban? It all speaks for itself.
President Trump
I agree.
has said
Kamala
he
Harris, I agree with that
racism
one.
and white supremacy after the Black Lives Matter.
I don't ditch. I'm a good boy. Okay, I'm a good suburban boy. Okay.
Protests that
I
began
don't
this
ditch.
summer.
Joe Biden
Ditching is against
his party to the flag burners,
cultural norms, sir.
rioters.
The president tried to frame the election as a choice between law and order and Biden and Harris. There's a sense that there's a divide out there. That
Also, if the election actually happened last week, I probably could have ditched, but the next week's class is mandatory. So I'm kind of at a shit show. I can't
order
ditch,
to
really. Or like fail.
address systemic racism.
Last week, if
that
it
it's
happened, it would have been actually pretty good
anti-police,
if I
that
did.
you would not be a law and order president.
Well, let me put it this way.
What the fuck is law and order? What does that even mean? Trump is not a law and order president because he clearly can't enforce the law. He can't even protect his own citizens. He's not a law and order president. All these fucking idiots fucking saying Trump is a law and order president. Look what the fuck's happening. Look what's happening under him. How can you then say Biden is going to bring all this burning power, all this chaos? He's not going to do that. It's already chaotic. How can it be more chaotic besides Trump bringing in the chaos?
Number one, I've never, ever supported defunding police. Matter of fact, I think we should give more funding.
No, fuck Biden. What are you doing? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We have to give more funding to police. Let me pull up this fucking statistic. Oh, my God. I have caps lock on. Police budget. Police funding. Budget. In city proportion. Oh, wait, look at this. Oh, what is this? Oh, you guys see this? Oh, what is this? Oh, police budgets remain high in 2020, ranging from 20 to 45% funding in major metropolitan areas. 20 to 45% of all of the budget in a city. That money could go to funding neighborhoods, to funding schools, to funding healthcare programs, to funding education. I already said schools. This is fucking insane. Police, dude, get the fuck out of here. You wouldn't need this much funding of police forces if you funded your own citizens, if you didn't have people starving in the fucking streets sometimes, if you had them go in education, if you had created jobs in their communities. But you don't, because you allocate half of your budget, half of your city funding budget to police. That's fucking retarded. Pay for correctional officer, dude. Let's look it up. Pay for correctional officer. God, in Texas. All right, let's. This has got to be the biggest one. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? 36 to 54K. This isn't that bad. All right, let's just do correctional officer. This is bad. The highest I see is 65K. This is an average job, maybe. 37,000. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's not that bad, Golden Attorney. I don't know what you're on. But yeah. Police funding is out of hand, and Biden being in favor of increasing fucking budgets for police spending is ridiculous. And people saying he's the most progressive candidate ever. Those people are fucking idiots. Correctional officer. All right. Salary. All right. If you can send me a link to this. Because I clicked on it and it's like annual mean 34,000 in Alabama, 57,000 in Alaska. Fuck, dude. If you went to Alaska to be a corrections officer, you'd be pretty set. California, pretty good, but the standard of living there, 66,000 ain't gonna do you much. Connecticut, 51,000. DC, 44. I think it's really jumping out at me. The highest one is 69,000 in New Jersey. That's pretty high. That's pretty high for New Jersey, not even New York. New York is less than New Jersey for correctional officer? What? Yeah, send me a link, because I'm not finding nothing here. What's Illinois? 51,000, 52,000. Yeah, that's not a problem. Pay and benefits. All right, this is like... Oh, California. Okay. Top of pay scale. Youth correctional officer. Is this per... What is this pay ranges? Is this per month? That's interesting. It's weird how this has it listed like this, range A during academy. During academy, I'm making $4 grand a month in California. How are these youth correctional counselor? What is the... That's pretty good. I mean, unless you're in range K, I mean, this is top of pay scale, dude. This is like, most people are not gonna achieve this. If you're a correctional officer, you're starting off with this, which is, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad for a correctional officer, but keep in mind, your job's pretty fucking tough. You know, you're dealing with, well, fucking inmates. You know, troubled youth. If you're a youth correctional officer, so it's a tough job, and you only get paid almost $4,000 in California, where the standard of living is really fucking high. This is nothing. $4,000 a month in California is fucking nothing, dude. 7,000 is pretty good. I mean, yeah, the range K is pretty good. I wouldn't say that's bad for California. It's a good life in California. Not a great life. It's a good life in California. Correctional officer team. No, dude. I could make more than this. This ain't a problem. And for me to deal with fucking prisoners, dude. Do you see me? Do you think I would do good with prisoners? They would call me a bitch and I would start crying, dude. I couldn't handle it. That's too much stress for me. I couldn't do it. I'm not that guy. I can't be tough. Oh, yeah. Where is this fucking thing? Joe Biden. Let's finish this up.
Different reasons. Number two, any use of violence, burning down stores, smashing windows, that is a crime. People should be arrested. No justice.
Okay, yes. I agree. Burning down neighborhood stores, residences. That's pretty much it. Stores and residences. Federal buildings?
Justification for it. There's never been a conflict with me between law and order and dignity. They're one and the same.
The president said on the stump, "I've saved the suburbs. You should thank me."
He would know a suburb.
What is this clipped?
Long term. Go out in the suburbs now. It's
Me
not
being a bitch, probably.
There are black and white families living next
Dude,
door.
I mean, who fucking? I mean, did you just realize I'm a little bitch? Like I can, like, dude. Like, no way, man.
Soccer practice.
Especially dealing with a felon who possibly murdered somebody. You think I'm going to be tough against that person? Nah, man. I'm running for the hills. They can keep that $4,000 per month income, man.
A lot of good reasons. All he wants to do is take that sort of subliminal fear out there and say it's because because of that guy.
That is
and
true.
Because of that woman.
That is
That's
true.
not who we are as a country.
Okay.
I
Biden.
mean, this is not who we are. It's not our.
That is his message. That is not who we are. It's not, hey, we're going to give you financial relief through the pandemic. Hey, it's not we're going to give your kids further education. Hey, it's not we're going to give you free healthcare. It's, hey, this is bad for our democracy. President Trump blaming other people is bad for our country. How can our children grow up? That's his policy. That is not going to...
You know, we hold these truths to be self-evident. We've never met it. We've never met the standard, but we've always gone further and further and further towards...
Start my own business? Yeah, what would my business be?
The first president.
Streaming on Twitch?
Trying to shut it down. We cannot sustain
That's the only business I got.
We're so much better than this.
Cannot sustain democracy that way. Okay, Biden. I don't know if you're going to be doing a much better job, but I guess you're not going to contest results to an election, which I guess is fine, fair enough.